In the quiet of an Amish workshop, baskets take shape the same way they have for centuries. These aren't ordinary containers, they're built to last generations. Some Amish families still use baskets made by their great-grandparents. What makes this possible isn't complicated technology, but simple, time-tested techniques passed down through families for hundreds of years. For the Amish, craftsmanship flows directly from their faith. Rejecting mechanization, they embrace work that connects hand, mind, and spirit. Children learn by watching, then doing formal instruction replaced by patient mentorship. Their baskets serve practical needs while providing sustainable income for communities maintaining traditional ways. Materials gathering. The basket maker's year begins in the woods, harvesting materials when nature deems them ready. Black ash is cut in winter when sap retreats. Spring yields flexible willow shoots. Summer offers reed and oak splits. Each is harvested using methods that ensure future growth. The craftsman's eyes scan for straight grain, proper flexibility, and consistency qualities invisibly embedded in the finished basket's longevity. Initial processing begins immediate splitting, debarking, storing. Materials gathered carelessly might create beautiful baskets that fail within years. Those harvested properly create heirlooms lasting generations. Preparation techniques. Before weaving begins, materials undergo meticulous preparation. Black ash logs are pounded until growth rings separate into perfect splints. Willow is soaked precisely too brief, and it breaks during weaving. Too long, and it weakens. A craftsman tests each strand between calloused fingers, feeling for the right combination of strength and flexibility. The work follows seasonal rhythm. Humid summer air keeps material pliable, while dry winter demands longer soaking times. Tools passed through generations draw knives, splitters, gauges, create consistent widths with remarkable precision. Natural dyes from walnut hulls, berries, and bark prepare decorative elements, their colors deepening with age rather than fading. Materials rest in damp cloths between steps, never fully dry until the basket's completion. This constant attention to moisture content is non-negotiable. Rushing preparation guarantees failure, sometimes decades later when weaknesses finally reveal themselves. Construction fundamentals. Every basket begins with its base, the foundation, determining structural integrity for decades to come. Stakes are positioned mathematically, though no measurements are written down. Knowledge lives in the hands. The craftsman's posture, shoulders relaxed. Hands positioned precisely allows sustained work without fatigue. This proper positioning transfers uniform tension throughout the emerging structure. Construction follows an unvarying sequence, with each step building upon the previous one. Stake placement determines wall strength and stability. Base weaving techniques prevent future warping. Tools specific to Amish, tradition simple but remarkably effective, create textures impossible to replicate with machines. The maker works methodically, reading materials as they respond to handling. Basket walls rise at a measured pace, never rushed. Environmental factors: temperature, humidity, air controlled instinctively through generations of knowledge. This isn't merely assembly. It's a conversation between craftsman and material. Weaving patterns and techniques. The seemingly simple over-under rhythm of weaving disguises sophisticated engineering. Plain weave provides flexibility. Twining creates rigid sections, while complex twill patterns reinforce high-stress areas. Each serves a structural purpose beyond decoration. Basket patterns vary subtly by Amish community. Lancaster patterns favor tight, intricate weaves. Holmes County traditions feature distinctive rim treatments. These differences reflect generations of isolated development and adaptation to local materials. The basket's intended purpose determines its pattern. Vegetable baskets feature wider, ventilated weaves, while storage baskets use tighter patterns for strength. Family signatures emerge in subtle details: a distinctive corner treatment, a particular handle attachment identifying the maker's lineage. Uniform tension is maintained through consistent hand pressure and weaving rhythm. Too tight, and the basket warps as it dries. Too loose, and structural weakness develops. This balance comes only through years of practice. When incorporating decorative elements, the craftsman never compromises structural integrity. What appears to be simple embellishment often reinforces potential weak points. The basket maker's hands instinctively adjust to variations in material thickness, creating harmony from natural irregularity. This deep material knowledge allows adaptation to changing conditions. The basket, though static in form, is designed to move with seasonal humidity changes without weakening an engineering achievement disguised as simple craft. Reinforcement methods. Certain basket areas handles, rims, and base junctions face disproportionate stress and receive special, often invisible, reinforcement. Additional stakes are discreetly added where needed. Handles aren't simply attached, they're built into the structure from the start. Rims get extra rows, often with thicker, more durable material. Some baskets hide elements like leather strips or wooden splints at wear points, offering unseen but vital support. Makers, drawing from generational knowledge, anticipate failure zones. A market basket's handle is built for decades of heavy use, a gathering basket's bottom edge toughened for rough terrain. Testing is hands-on. Baskets are stressed during construction. Creaks or shifts signal weakness. Yet despite all this, reinforcement never compromises the basket's appearance. A truly strong basket looks simple. Its strength is proven not by looks, but by lasting through generations of real use. Finishing techniques. The final rim does more than complete the basket's appearance. It secures the entire structure. Multiple weaving rows lock stakes in place, forming a reinforced edge that resists damage, even after decades of use. Handle areas receive extra wrapping with the strongest material, often soaked longer for flexibility during application and strength when dry. This critical point decides if a basket lasts 5 years or 50. Natural preservatives like beeswax, linseed oil, resins, and walnut oil are applied carefully, soaking into the fibers without sealing them, allowing the material to breathe. Drying follows a controlled schedule. Baskets are rotated regularly for even curing. Some are hung in ventilated spaces with steady humidity, others placed in cabinets with fixed temperature and airflow. A well-finished basket shows a subtle sheen. Craftsmen assess edges by touch, bend, and even smell checking for proper hardness and flexibility. This hands-on method reveals which baskets need more time. Weather guides. The finishing humid days need different methods than dry ones. Summer baskets take less oil than those in winter, adjusting each to its first seasonal cycle. Finishing mixtures are family-kept recipes. Some use local resins or oils unique to the region. These don't coat the surface, they become part of the basket, strengthening it from within. Maintenance and care. An Amish saying goes, "The basket's life begins when weaving ends." Its longevity depends on consistent care. Seasonal rituals are woven into family routines. Baskets are inspected at set times, and minor flaws are fixed before they worsen. Humidity control is vital. In winter, baskets stay away from heat sources to avoid brittleness. In summer, they're kept in well-ventilated spots to prevent mildew. Some families keep written records, tracking each basket's condition over decades. Cleaning follows strict methods. Wicker is never soaked, just wiped gently with barely damp cloths. Drying signs are treated with cloths lightly soaked in vegetable oil to restore flexibility. Storage involves repositioning baskets regularly to avoid warping from long-term pressure. New baskets are broken in, slowly used lightly at first, then gradually tasked with more, ensuring a flexible foundation that supports long use. As baskets age, their purpose shifts. A market basket may retire into home storage and later become a decorative piece, respecting the natural aging process while extending its usefulness. Repairs are minimal and mindful. Loose weaves tightened, worn edges reinforced, damaged spots patched individually. Winter, when farming slows, is often repair season. This care culture mirrors Amish value stewardship, respect for skilled work, and the belief that each object is a connection across generations. Generational knowledge transfer. No written manuals guide Amish basket making. Knowledge lives in practice and observation. Children begin their apprenticeship simply by being present, watching parents and grandparents work from their earliest years. By age 6 or 7, they receive simple task-soaking materials, holding elements in place, eventually practicing basic weaves on small projects. The progression from observer to assistant to craftsperson follows a carefully structured path, though it's never formally documented. Young learners first master preparation, then construction fundamentals, with pattern complexity and finishing techniques coming later. This mirrors the basket's construction foundations. First, then complexity, finally refinement. Teaching happens through demonstration rather than explanation. Watch my hands, not my mouth, an Amish basket maker might say. Terminology forms its own specialized vocabulary, cat's heads for certain knots, brooding for the rest period between soaking and weaving. Family techniques create distinct lineages. The Millers might be known for particularly durable market baskets, while the Yoders excel at delicate sewing baskets. These specialties are protected yet shared through community events where masters demonstrate techniques. Mistakes become teaching moments rather than failures. A poorly constructed basket might be taken apart strand by strand, the materials reused while the lesson remains. This approach produces craftspeople who understand not just how to follow patterns, but why each element matters. Today, this knowledge transfer faces challenges from changing economics and lifestyles. Some communities have established more formal teaching structures, with dedicated sessions for younger members. These adaptations preserve techniques that might otherwise be lost when a single skilled craftsperson passes without adequately trained successors. Cultural significance. Beyond function, Amish baskets mark life's significant transitions. A young woman traditionally receives a sewing basket upon reaching maturity. New households are gifted gathering baskets as symbols of providence and plenty. Workshop baskets passed from father to son represent the transfer of livelihood and responsibility. The gifting of handmade baskets carries meaning beyond mere utility. It's the offering of something containing hours of meditative work, a physical embodiment of community values. The basket represents the Amish ideal of objects that serve rather than impress. For some communities, basket making provides crucial income while maintaining separation from mainstream employment. Baskets become cultural ambassadors, carrying Amish values into non-Amish homes. This commercialization creates tension. Designs sometimes shift toward outside preferences rather than traditional forms. Communities navigate these pressures differently. Some maintain strict separation between baskets made for Amish use and those for sale. Others adapt traditional techniques to contemporary needs while maintaining core methods. Regional variations in basket design reveal community identities. Holmes County baskets differ subtly from Lancaster County forms. These differences reflect adaptations to local materials and historical isolation of communities, creating distinctive heritage markers. Basket making traditionally crosses gender lines, certain forms and techniques associated with women's work, others with men's. These distinctions have softened in some communities while being preserved in others, reflecting broader cultural negotiations. In their simple utility, Amish baskets embody a worldview that values permanence over novelty, function over fashion, and intergenerational connection over individual expression. They're not merely containers, but carriers of cultural memory. The future of Amish basket making. Traditional basket making faces modern challenges. Economic pressures pull younger community members toward more lucrative work. Mass-produced alternatives undercut handmade pricing. Perhaps most critically, some traditional materials face environmental threats. Black ash populations decimated by invasive species. Riverbank access limited by development. Yet adaptation has always characterized Amish craft. Some communities experiment with sustainable alternatives, cultivating basket willow rather than wild harvesting. Others document techniques more formally than tradition would typically allow, creating records to preserve knowledge through periods of reduced practice. Market dynamics create both challenges and opportunities. Growing consumer interest in sustainable, handmade goods has increased appreciation for Amish craftsmanship. This interest allows some makers to focus exclusively on basket making rather than treating it as supplemental income. Tourism brings customers directly to Amish communities, supporting craftspeople while raising questions about authenticity and performance. Communities navigate these complexities differently, some embracing demonstration as educational, others maintaining strict separation between craft practice and display. The environmental sustainability of Amish practices gains new relevance in conversations about consumer ethics and material culture. Their approach to creating objects designed for multi-generational use offers profound alternatives to contemporary disposability. Younger Amish craftspeople sometimes introduce subtle innovations adapting traditional techniques to new materials when necessary, creating forms that serve contemporary needs while maintaining core methods. These changes occur within a framework that values continuity over novelty. The resilience of Amish basket making through previous cultural and economic shifts suggests its continued survival, perhaps not unchanged, but with its essential character intact, creating objects that connect generations through shared use and care. Conclusion. The hands that began our journey continue their work-weathered fingers guiding Wicker with practiced precision. In an Amish home, we see baskets from 4 different decades side by side in daily use. The oldest, darkened with age, performs its function as faithfully as the newest. A young girl watches her grandmother work, occasionally helping with simple tasks. Between them sits a market basket made by the grandmother's grandfather, its handle worn smooth by the touch of 5 generations. This physical connection to ancestors through shared objects represents an approach to material goods almost forgotten in contemporary life.